Hi, my name is Paul Walker and I'm a full-time professional pet photographer based in Ayrshire, Scotland. Don't they say you should never work with children or animals? Photographing pets has always been a passion of mine from an early age, although to begin with it was more about the pets staying still rather than any camera skill on my part. Over the years and after countless mistakes and learning on the job, this passion has enabled me to grow a thriving pet photography business, as well as a number of well-respected commercial clients in the pet industry. Furthermore, my knowledge of animal behaviour, particularly in reference to dogs, cats and horses, has grown significantly. That said, there are still times when pets amaze me, especially when they do something contrary to their expected behaviour. Much of my experience as a pet photographer has predominantly dealt with dogs and cats, and therefore, for the purpose of this course, it is these animals that I will concentrate on. I tend to stay away from the more conventional studio pet portrait, which can be very dull and formulaic. This is where the pet is simply placed on a white, black or cloudy canvas background, and the owners stand in a corner worrying that their pet may not perhaps perform. My preference has always been to record a pet's true characteristics in a natural environment and to capture the everyday life of our four-legged friends. To achieve this, I have often photographed them in environments that they are familiar with, whether it be their own home or on a popular walk such as a local park, beach or woodland. In this week's lesson, I will aim to lay the foundations of pet photography from my own personal perspective and shooting philosophy. And don't worry, I use the term shooting in the context of photography rather than using guns before anybody starts to write in. We'll discuss the photography equipment and other useful items that are an integral part of my working day. We'll also look at different types of pet portrait so you can maximise the creative possibilities with your own cameras, whether they be compact or SLR cameras. The choice of environments available to any pet owner will also be discussed, as well as the right or wrong choice and strategy for any shoot. It's all about making the process as easy as possible for ourselves. People's definition of easy will obviously vary, but let's just say we can often make it more difficult than it needs to be. We also can't avoid talking about light, the fundamental ingredient in all photographs. Some people worry about the quality of their cameras or the lack of professional lighting equipment, but this worry is often a misuse of the imagination. Does pet photography on location warrant huge technical lighting rigs with reflectors and diffusers positioned strategically for that dynamic look? Perhaps in Hollywood with a pet model actor that has starred in several film roles and has the obedience and patience and ability to be directed. So how many pets have I encountered that fit into such a category? Well, not very many is the answer. Many of the pets I encounter have varying levels of obedience, from the self-ruling cat through to the dogs that can be directed to some extent, albeit responding to movements, sounds, routines or that tasty pet treat. On occasions, yes, there has been that attentive border collie that awaits its next instruction and is only pleased to be given commands, yet the reality is those kinds of pets in general are few and far between. Often the photographer is afforded the luxury of just a few seconds or just a fleeting 1/100th of a second in which to capture the perfect expression or pet pose. Many a pet would disappear in the time we would ultimately wish to perhaps fine-tune some of the many variables that are so incumbent with pet photography. So what are the possible solutions to photographing pets where time is often in such demand? Well, just like many other things in life, there is no single answer. Having said that, often there is a basic recipe that, if followed, can maximise your chances of capturing better pet photographs consistently. Once these basic fundamentals have been learned, you'll find it is much easier to develop a particular style and become more creative with your own imagery. So let's examine what makes up a good pet portrait. I have made a list of 10 points that I will now run through with you.